Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and I'm joined with hubby.
Okay.
And we are working on Xena's nose today. Now, what I've done is I've printed out several photos because what you'll see is that, let me pull up my reference photos. On the dark photo, come on. There we go. The dark photo doesn't show us a whole lot of detail, but I need that dark photo in order to get the shading. But first, the detail I can lay out and then go over it. So that's what I'm going to do. Hey Spence, hey bro. So looking at this, I've zoomed it in because obviously it's much bigger than my actual nose, but I needed to see where the nostrils were. I needed to see how the textural pattern is here, because if you look really close, they got wonderful texture on their noses, and I really want to capture that in here because right here is the main, what's really going to stand out. So I'm hoping if I can get that right, that everything will work together. Now I gotta find the right pin, because for some reason I didn't do that. What I'm going to use first is the 9M, because I can get squiggles, and that right there, if I can find it. Why can't I find it? I was just dropping pins, there we go, into my holders. I was working on World Pyrography Month and working on this. In fact, I did all the burning you see around. I started the blanket just so I knew where things were. I put in the base dark background, which is not going to look smooth yet. I need to...
Ted's here.
Hey Ted! Hey Babs! Hey Amy! So that's the dark. I'm going to darken it. I haven't decided if I'm going to use the torch or not to darken it, but it does need to be darker. And see, if I hold it where the light's not hitting it, like it would be hanging on the wall, it looks much darker, but when the light hits it, looks lighter. I will say I'm not liking this particular board as much. It's had some streaking, but this is a special board for something I'm doing, so I don't know if that's the reason. So right now I'm going to start kind of putting some squiggles in, and then I can always go back over and darken where it needs to be dark. I do need to make sure I follow the pattern, as in the direction of how these lay, because if I'm going this way with basically my U's, that's kind of what I'm doing here, it won't look right. But if I go straight down, that won't look right either. So I'm just gonna try not to make perfect U's, because that's not what they are. So I'm just kind of tapping and moving the pin. Some of them are circles, but right now, because this is a smaller picture, this part is smaller than my zoomed in. I need to take that into consideration. I'm not going to see as much in the smaller. In fact, let's see here. Let me find the reference. This is the size of Xena on the board, and if you notice, we see a little bit here, but down here we don't see the texture the same. So I need to watch that. Oh, excuse me. Some of them can be more defined. The others just need to kind of be just marks. How is everyone doing?
Everybody's saying hi.
Hello.
Pete's here.
Hey Pete.
And I'm like 90% sure that Troy is lurking in here somewhere. Because he said he was going to be on as well. Well, he might be here. He might just be getting on. So, but yeah. So, we got a party.
We got a party. We got a party. Now this is when I need my headphones.
Did you say hi to Babs B?
I did say hi to Babs B.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. I apologize. But yep.
So I'm just gonna lay the texture in. I'm actually going to darken a lot of the area. So I'm just tapping. And right now it's gonna look really dark because nothing around it at the top is burned. And some of these are just dots, especially on the side as they move away from the camera. Let's get those in there. We definitely don't see these as much. And right now it's not going to look right. I'm just getting the texture in. And then I'll go over it with a spear shader to shade some of the areas. So just know it's going to be ugly before it's pretty. Same with everything that I've been doing on this board. Further away from the camera, further back something goes or off to the side, the smaller it is. So I promised everybody when I announced the live that we had a funny story. Well, I wish we didn't have this story, but we got this story.
Okay.
Oh, this is a hair hanging down over. She has whiskers above her eyes, and it's hanging down.
Yeah. So should I tell it from my perspective?
Oh no. Let me, cause.
Okay, I'll chip in when it's my turn.
Oh, I'm sure you'll chip in sooner than that, based on what I'm about to say. So.
Wouldn't it be weird if this was totally not the story? And I was like,
So every morning, I tend to be up first, so I make a pot of coffee, and then I go in the bedroom, and with an angelic voice and sweet, calming energy, I wake Jason up so peacefully every morning.
Your Honor, I object.
Every morning, I wake him up so peacefully, so calmly. He hears the birds chirping and...
So poking your husband repeatedly until he wakes up.
I don't poke you.
That's gentle.
I don't poke you. Hard.
Although there was that one, I don't want to get off track, but sometimes, when you dream, what you hear kind of interjects into your dream. And
it was last week.
Val calls me Joey. It's our nicknames for each other. It's our kid names.
Our kid names.
Yeah, she's Zoe, I'm Joey. Anyway, and so she actually was that morning, like waking me up gently, which is, is really out of the ordinary. But
it is not. That's
anyway,
what I always do.
Let me finish the story.
There's Troy.
So I was having a dream where apparently I wasn't in the army, but it was like I was in a place where there was soldiers, and I was talking to him, and this big army dude put his hand around my shoulder, and he's like, well, you'll get used to this or something like that, won't you, Joey? And he's like, he starts rubbing my shoulder, and he's like, Joey, and I was like looking at him in my dream, like what the hell is going on? Anyway, and Savelle had been rubbing my shoulder and whispering Joey to me, and that just like, you don't have a particularly manly voice, but that's what happened in the dream. Anyway, you said I had the same look on my face?
Oh, he did, because I was watching him sleep. See, and Amy overruled you. I was watching him sleep, and all of a sudden, his face was nice and peaceful, and all of a sudden, it started grimacing, and I couldn't figure out why. And that's when he realized it was the part of the dream where he was being... what would you call it? So anyway, this morning I didn't get a chance to wake him up with my angelic voice and calming energy.
Yeah, that's too bad. Although...
Excuse me. But there was a good reason why. There was a good reason why I haven't yet. Or I didn't.
Do tell.
I had come in from the porch and I walked in the kitchen and I made the coffee and I was getting ready to go walk into the hall to go to the bedroom when I looked down at the dog's water dish. There's two of them there. I was looking at one. I was looking at them both, but then there was something in the water dish that was the size of Texas, was horrible, and I couldn't walk past it. And I guess I'll very quickly show before we tell what it was.
Oh.
I'm gonna pop up the video real quick because Jason.
So they're gonna be able to see how big it actually was.
Huge.
That's the size of Texas. I don't know where we
I
don't know where we put our freaking water glasses.
That is huge. Like, look how big that is. That is about how big it was
if you're zooming,
in the water.
The cup is a big cup too.
Look at that.
Which means
it's a tiny cup.
It's about two quarters across.
No.
It's about 2 inches.
No, it was bigger than that. It was bigger.
I object.
See, I'm showing them, so there's proof that it was huge. There we go. I don't know what happened there. Okay. I don't know. But we're back, hopefully, because I can see everything running. I do not know what happened there. So, no, Pete, it was not small. It was huge. And Troy, you're not single, so knock it off. Can everybody hear us now?
Amy says the spider must have ate us.
I don't know what happened. Pete said I was about to say not to ask Val. Use sign language. That's a very well-used sign.
I've seen that signal.
Troy's seen it too. So anyway, it was huge. It was in the house. What?
Troy says, "Oh no, Val said that can happen, and now I feel so ashamed."
So what could happen? I missed that one. I missed it. All right. So I'm trying to get the darks in on the side as I squiggle out. In theory. So yeah, the dogs didn't even register.
So I gotta tell a little story about dogs, because our dogs are like highly protective, against cats and people, like terrifyingly so. Like we scared a delivery man off one year.
Not intentionally.
Because and I was like, oh, she's really very sweet, and his face was just white, because she looks like
Xena
that
does.
she will kill you. Like that's what she's telling you when she's barking. Like if you could translate, it's like a terrible snarling and growling, but the content, the subtitle would be like,
"Hi,
I will kill you immediately. I will tear you limb from limb. It would be very painful. I will kill you. I will kill you. I will kill you." Anyway, but so I'm used to that behavior from them, but we've had mice, which we caught our mice, and
caught and released.
I don't think we have any mice anymore, hopefully. But
don't.
anyway, so there was mice in the house, and they were being pretty bold, right? And I've seen a mouse before, like, run across the floor, and Xena will just cock her head to one side, and she'll be like, "What was that?"
So cock her head to one side, like that.
Yeah. And but there was this one mouse that was like extra bold. And apparently he ran at the dogs or something. And this is a little mouse, not a rat, a little mouse.
These are little.
So I seen the motion of the mouse, right? Because I was in the hallway and I can see out into the living room. And I see this mouse like running across the floor like he owns the place. And he looked at me and he's like, "Yeah, I own this. What?"
What are you gonna do?
And anyway, so I come around the corner. I'm like, "Where are the dogs?" And they are all stacked up on the couch, like all huddled together like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, like looking at this mouse. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, it's a mouse, guys. And they're like, "Did you see the size of that thing?" Kind of like you with a spider.
It was huge.
Anyway.
They saw proof that it was huge. They saw proof. Alright, I switched over to the 18S. To get, I guess for Xena. Get some of the texture that's less defined.
What did you hear?
Oh,
yeah.
When
she's laying around.
Xena sounds like an old man snoring.
She does.
Let's see here. Get my dark along the side here. I'm on 3.5.
No, I haven't given them cookies this morning.
I did.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They got cookies.
But why am I getting grief about it?
Because you didn't give a cookie.
Oh.
Let's see here.
First world problem, Moon. There's dogs in Ethiopia that don't get cookies.
There's dogs in the neighborhood that don't get cookies.
You get like 2-3 a day.
You
Plus
ain't
your
hurting.
food.
You ain't hurting. So right now I'm just trying to put the nostril in. That way I can tell where I'm going from there.
Troy loves the subject of today's excellent broadcast.
Thank y'all. Oh, but last week, after the live, was it last week? Did I already tell this last week?
I don't know.
Was it?
You'll have to continue.
I think I might have already told
Because right
it.
now I have no idea what you're talking about.
The horns. Well, I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. After the live, we had a mule deer. No, I did tell that story. Never mind. Yeah, I think so. I think I did. We had a mule deer, buck, young buck.
Yes,
I'm running in the yard.
Dogs. Ted says the dogs thought that they were cartoon elephants. Yes, that is pretty much what they look like.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the tarantula made it.
No, it's not a rat, Lana. It was a mouse.
Yeah, no.
Definitely.
Yeah, we don't have rats.
Mm-hmm. They're well fed.
Yeah.
Which is why we got them and
we use no-kill traps
yeah.
and catch them and
release them. So
away from the houses.
Super upset when I do that. And they're like, "Oh, it was warm and nice in there. You're a bastard. I'm setting you free. I hate, what is this, nature?"
I don't do nature.
Get out of here, you hipster.
This part's the darkest. But I'm going to use circles to kind of give the Lucan a texture because we really don't see it. So who's with me that was a huge spider?
So, I'll tell you about a huge spider. Okay?
Yeah, but those aren't actual spiders.
No. But does it matter? They're bugs.
They're not actual spiders.
So a camel spider, which I know it's a cephalopug, it's not technically an arachnid. But you know what? If it's running at you, there's very little distinction there. I would like to see you hold your ground, and you'll be like, no, it's not a spider when it's coming at you.
When it's coming at me, that's a different story, and we have them here.
Well, the funny thing is that like because the places that I've been employed,
Troy's seen
that's
them
habitat.
too.
Yes, Troy has seen them. What's funny is that because it's hot, they're seeking shade, and these things are usually there's some small ones, but ones I've seen have been mostly about the size of your fist or bigger, and but they seek out shade, and so all they want to do is find shade. So if somebody is standing there, they'll run over to you and get in the shade, right? They're not there to attack you, but it becomes an escalation, and I've seen soldiers, grown men, the spider starts coming towards them, and they're like, oh god, the spider's coming at me, and it's not a spider, I know that, but and then the spider is like, oh my god, the shade's moving, I have to move faster, and so the end result is you have a grown man and a spider running through wherever, and the guy is running, and the spider's like, no, please, just slow down, I just want to be cool. But
I think I can handle them better not knowing that they're not spiders.
I had 2 instances where I saw exceptionally large ones, and this is going to sound like an exaggeration, but it is not. So one of them was in the lower part of Iraq, and me and my driver, we were, driving along in our truck, and this thing that looked like a land crab crossed the highway, and it was so large, and we just looked at each other and we're like, was that really what I thought it was? We had to talk about it because it was just too enormous. It looked like almost comical, like a Muppet. Like it didn't look real. And then the other one was in Afghanistan, and it was nighttime, and same thing. This one crossed the road, and it was large enough that it cast a pretty decent shadow in the headlights as it skittered across the road. So that's pretty big.
And that's how big the tarantula was.
The baby.
It was still big, and it couldn't have been a baby because we're getting ready for mating season, and this is when all the males come out looking for their girlfriends. Lucas has a sweet voice.
Well, you don't know,
and is cute.
You don't know that tarantula didn't have a sweet voice?
I didn't wish it dead. I just wished it out of the house. 2 completely different things.
And I took it out of the house.
You did. And it took me over an hour to calm down.
I had empathy.
I don't want it to die, and unfortunately, I think it might have.
I don't know.
I couldn't get close enough to the bowl to help it.
Well, it's not like you waited when you saw it. I definitely heard when you saw it.
Then how come it took 3 screams to get you in the kitchen?
Did I miss the part where I'm injured?
But you didn't respond.
No, I didn't respond. I didn't know what was going on out there. But I didn't know what the situation was. I didn't know if we had a fucking... Sorry. I didn't know... language. I didn't know if we had it sounded like a home invasion, so...
It was a home invasion.
I didn't want to tip anybody off, that
I'm screaming.
I was in the bedroom.
I'm screaming love.
I know, but I didn't want to be like, oh, I'll come out and save you, and have the home invasion guy ready to meet me there. I want to be the one to surprise them. So of course I'm going to be quiet.
Do you really think I would have been screaming for that? Think about it.
I don't know.
I know better.
When you just wake up because of screams, that's, my process.
And then what did you do after? What did you do after?
I grabbed a cup.
No. After it was outside and it was done and I was in the hallway searching everywhere because I know that means it was in the house overnight.
That's what you did?
What did you do?
I don't know.
You gave me a hug and then ran your fingers up my spine like it was the spider. That's what you did.
That maybe was wrong.
It was funny though.
But,
yeah. It was big.
Uh-huh.
It wanted to eat my face off.
They're talking about owls now. Where I grew up in Alaska, we have these snowy owls, and I think horned owls, I think.
Great horned owls?
Yeah. And our cat, she'd be outside, and then you'd hear this whoo, and the cat would just flatten. Like, she knew. I don't know whether she ever got strafed by an owl, and that was how she knew. But she knew that, like, that was bad business for her. But it was still funny. I was like, wow, you're really flat and motionless right now.
So this is definitely going to have to go darker, but on camera, I'm liking the shape better. Let's see here. They're talking away now.
Oh, they're talking about spiders and owls.
I'm totally fine with owls. In fact, I am an owl.
Troy, I was hooking up a trailer to our truck in Iraq in Tikrit, and it was just like routine. And my driver, he was backing into it, and then as soon as we have these hitches, I call them hitches. That's not what they're called, but I'm just going to use that term, But they're rather large because these are huge trailers. And as soon as the hitch contacted the trailer, this camel spider crawled out of the hitch enclosure, because it's, like I said, pretty big and it's shady in there, and it went over the drawbar and then dropped on the ground. And my first reaction as a grown man was to point at it and yell.
See?
And
see?
My driver, who is like 30 feet away in the front of the truck, because I was backing him in and, getting it hitched up, he thought that I was upset because I'd hit something. And he's like, what's wrong? He jumped out and ran back. What did I do? And I pointed at it. I was like, spider! And then it ran underneath one of the tires to the trailer, which we weren't moving the trailer. We were just hooking it up. He's like, let's catch it. And I grabbed him by the shoulder. And I was like, no, let's leave it alone.
See?
I didn't say I was comfortable with them.
I think now I'm going to make a camel spider. For all the things you've done to me, I'm going to make a camel spider.
Do you really want to go down that road?
And it's going to show up in a place that you least expect it.
Okay.
You've already gotten me several times with spiders.
But
the
time that I got you first, I had no idea. I was just like, this is
that
ridiculous.
Was hilarious.
Because we were looking for spiders.
No, I wasn't looking for spiders. I opened where the door in the hall where the heater is, and came across a giant web with a black widow in it. That's what happened.
So I got rid of that black widow, and then she wanted me to look for more. And so she's on the other side, and I'm like leaning in looking. And then so I start shaking around, and I was like, oh, it's got me. And she like screamed and jumped back. And I was like, really?
Because what you don't realize and didn't realize, that when I kill a spider, or you kill a spider, I feel Shelobs all over the house. Shelobs watching and growling and sending their minions after me. Didn't say it was logical. That's just what it feels like. Eight-legged freaks ain't got nothing on what goes in my head with the spider.
Hey, Beryl, no ideas for Valarie, please.
What?
We don't have a cookie jar. But, that's happened to me in Afghanistan. Not in a cookie jar, but, I was in our operations center, and I was working on something, and, the top of my head kind of itched,
Oh, I
and
hate
so
that.
I like brushed my hair, with my hand, and I felt something weird. And then I was like, "There's something in my hair," and I like brushed it off, and there was this freaking camel spider that was on top of my head apparently. And this was a baby. This was kind of, it was maybe as big as the one that we showed in the video here. So
That was huge.
So I think, 30 years ago, before I had all this exposure to all these different huge bugs, that I probably would have had a similar reaction. But like sleeping in Iraq and then like waking up and, because there's stuff crawling on you all the time.
You know what? I'm calling BS. You know why I'm calling BS on your statement of being okay with that?
Why?
What was in the Gus bathroom last week that kept you from using that bathroom?
Okay, but I wasn't freaking out about it, and I got rid of it, did I not?
You wouldn't even go in the bathroom, other than to check to see if it was gone.
I was kind of lazy.
No, you even laughed when I called you out on not going in that bathroom.
Well, because
of how big it was.
It was like maybe the size of a quarter.
No. It was bigger than that.
Okay.
You're downplaying it.
No, I wasn't.
You're down.
I caught that one, and
I went in there and talked to it and told it needed to leave.
Well, the only issue that I had is that I just didn't want it, like, while I was going to the bathroom or something, coming down and getting on me, because I didn't want.
Oh, so you mean spiders attack?
I didn't want to reflexively crush it, because I would have. So I was just kind of like lazy about it.
Guys, you heard that? He didn't want the spider to attack. Because that's what they do.
About 2 months ago, there was a spider on...
Don't tell me if I don't know about it.
I think I told you about this.
Oh.
I woke up one night, because I have this back scratcher.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and like we listen to this meditation music when we go to sleep. Just like...
Through YouTube.
Yeah, it's nice. It's relaxing. Anyway... So, like, I reached up to grab my back scratcher, and there was something on it, and there was this spider there, and he wasn't too large, but I could see that it looked like I was watching television. It was like watching the patterns in the meditation music, because it's like a bunch of patterns and stuff like that, and it was like mesmerized by it. And then I touched it and it ran off.
But the point is you saw it, and its shadow.
Okay.
Which means it was huge, and near the bed.
So, I really think that the takeaway from all this is Valarie is triggered by spiders.
I can handle a lot of bad things with spiders.
In fact, true, Troy, I only do use space Legos now.
In fact, was it Ted or Pete who said, it was Ted, Camel Spider in the Lego box.
Oh, really?
That's what he's telling me to do.
Oh, that's where that came.
That's what he's telling me to do.
I see.
Oh, I at some point I am going to make a camel spider.
No, Troy, that's fine.
And I think I'll record it
spiders
too.
here all the time. It depends on the context. If I can catch them, I'll throw them away, because yes, they do kill mosquitoes and flies, and so I appreciate that about them, which is why that I don't.
I just don't want them
if they're in our space. Like,
in the house.
If they're like...
Or on the porch.
It's really a crapshoot, honestly. It's like, if I can get them...
If it's a black widow,
if it looks like if it's a black widow, it's probably dead, because I can't risk
it is
that
dead.
biting Valarie. So... Because I don't know what would happen if you got bit.
I don't either.
Like, I would probably get sick, but I would be okay, I'm sure. You, I don't know.
I don't either, and I really don't want to find out. So I switched over to the 18M. I'm still on...
Yes, Beryl, context.
3.5.
Like, okay, but I don't want to... No, I didn't use that bathroom until I was ready to catch it. And I only pointed out...
It wasn't even 15 feet.
And I only pointed it out to you because you used that bathroom and didn't notice it.
One time I used the bathroom.
And I wanted to point out to you that the spider did not hurt you. And I was hoping...
That is not what happened.
And that was what was going on in my mind.
But that ain't what
But that's not what happened. You freaked out about it as soon as you found out that let you go to the bathroom with a spider.
I can handle so many things. I can handle somebody who's got some bad physical things that have happened to them, and I can help them with zero problem. Blood doesn't bother me unless it's my own. I've seen a bunch of not good stuff, and I'm totally fine with it. But spiders, see, snakes used to be up there too, but not as much anymore. No. Well, it's because I had to live with some snakes.
Well, see, there you go.
I'm not living with the spiders.
Okay.
And that spider in the bathroom, I went in there and from a distance talked to it and told it was not welcome in the house. It needed to leave immediately. And what did it do? It looked at me and thought about jumping.
I feel like that's a miscommunication right there.
No, it looked at me.
I felt like that it was happy up there. It was like, well, there's some bugs in here.
But there aren't bugs in there.
Yeah, there are. Like,
and it's not that the house isn't clean. It's just we don't have air conditioning, so the doors are open all the time and windows are open, and that's where things come to visit.
But
because that sounded bad.
I'm sure it would have been happier outside.
And I asked it to go outside.
But how do you expect that? That's a long journey. That's like Frodo going to Mordor.
How big that damn thing was, it could have gotten
and
there.
I was
10
his
minutes.
eagle. I got him and I flew him out.
While I was taking my nap so that you didn't have to deal with me too. Oh, poor baby. Just laying down.
Yeah.
Time for pain pills for Moon. Poor baby. I don't know if you guys can hear that. He's trying to lay down. We'll give her some medicine. 'Cause that sounds really bad. Alright. So I will keep building up the nose, but I do need to kind of... See, Barb agreed with me that it was huge. It wasn't just me being silly. It was huge. And one day you will admit it.
It was huge. If you're a fly.
No, even if you're not a fly.
We're giants. They're terrified of us. The spider.
If it was terrified of us, it would not have come into the house.
It was thirsty. You know that's why it was there. It was in the water bowl. I'm pretty sure it didn't come in until like I said.
Yes, it did. You said it came in here to eat human flesh.
And then okay, where are the people?
That's what he told me. That's what he told me.
I was saying that because that's not what it does.
That's what you told me. You said it was coming in to eat human flesh. It got
stuck in the dog bowl. It probably wouldn't have been there. It slipped, I'm sure.
I am so going to record the Camel Spider so they can see your manly reaction. It'll be fun.
Well, now I have to steel myself everywhere I go and just not have a reaction. And hopefully there won't be any real bad thing.
Yes, unfortunately Moon she's over 11. And her hips are getting bad, so we'll need to give her some doggy medicine too. She's down now, so that's why it's quiet.
Yeah. Troy says spiders are like teenagers. They just don't do what you tell them to. You know they understand, but they just...
I know! He looked right at me and knew exactly what I was saying. And I'll tell you what, it was ready to pounce.
But it didn't.
Because I left the room.
It had the opportunity.
No, I left the room. I started feeling the pounce coming. I was like, okay, I'm out of here. And I left.
I'm pretty sure that distance.
Oh, he could. Oh, no. With those legs, could have made it. And you are downplaying how big it was. It took up easily a 3-inch square.
No.
Yes, it did, including legs. Yes, it did.
3 inches is like...
Okay, guys. This is the fun in our house. Where's my ruler? Where is it?
I don't know.
It's over there. Then.
Where?
I don't know. Find it. I gotta prove it to him now.
But it's not.
There it is. You hit my ruler. So, he was in easily a 3 foot, or 3 inch. 3 inch, okay.
It's getting larger.
3 inch square. That big. That much. Yes, he was in the corner at 3 inch. Yes, including legs.
No.
Yes, he was.
Not even 1 inch, maybe.
1 inch? This is 1 inch.
Exactly.
No.
We're obviously in.
I measure all the
We're
time.
in 2 different planes of reality here.
and only my reality is true.
Okay.
Because that's what happened. Stick this camel spider in the loo with the lid down. Have it pop out of the toilet.
I like how helpful Chad is being here.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Beryl says spider stories are almost like fish stories. That's true.
No, I am being legit on the size.
See, and I grew up in a place that we had daddy long legs.
I'm fine with them.
And a few little spiders. I accidentally drank a daddy long legs once. So it was really awful. Tastes like, but it was in my tang.
It tastes like butt. And do I want to? I don't want to know why you would know that.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you said it tasted like butt.
No, I was gonna say battery acid, but so I just said butt. But then I was like, no, because if I say battery acid, then Beryl's gonna ask, like, how does Jason know what battery acid tastes like? So
it doesn't have to be Beryl.
It was very acidic tasting, though. I'll say that. It was very bad, and it was very disconcerting, like feeling a spider in my mouth. It was gross.
Oh. Did you get that happened in Eightlegged Freaks? See, Eightlegged Freaks is a true story that happened here in Arizona.
You know,
it happened in southern Arizona.
You said you were okay with that movie. Is this like a little kid? I'm like, Valarie, if you can't handle that movie, we're not gonna watch it because of how you get afterwards.
But that's a true story. It happened.
So Barb says, in her opinion, there's no such thing as a small spider. You know,
there you go.
I can accept that. Like,
see?
Your perception is that it's not small, but you say it's as big as Texas.
It was big as Texas. It filled the whole dog water dish.
And you are from Texas, and you guys are known to exaggerate.
I lived there, yes, but I'm not from there.
Spence says he ate a fly in ice cream once.
Ooh.
Amy says extra protein.
Yucky.
Beryl says just dip them in chocolate and eat them. That's so Beryl.
That's so Beryl. Alright, let's try to get some of this darker because we have more shadow on this side.
Troy says, do you think they digress just a bit from pyrography? Well, the pyrography's happening.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
She's doing it. She's doing it. She's doing it well.
And actually, my pyrography is changing. I'm going to be doing other things. In different ways. Besides animals.
He says, what if somebody doesn't like chocolate? Oh, last night, I don't know if you know.
Did you eat the chocolate thingy?
I had a bite.
But you didn't give me a bite.
It's still in there.
But you didn't give me a bite.
Because you were asleep. I was awake.
You were supposed to wait till we were together.
Well, it was...
That was our chocolate.
It was freaking 12:30 last night, and I couldn't go to sleep because my back was hurting, and so I heated up the heating pad, and I was like, I'm miserable. Wait, we have that chocolate thing that I bought, and I got a bite, and I broke off a piece of it to see what it was like. I think you're really going to like it.
Oh, it's too dark. Turn that down.
And I was up till 2:30.
Aww. Well, it was the tarantula's fault that you were woken up that way.
Huh?
It's the tarantula's fault. Not my fault. It's his fault.
What? Oh, okay. I was like, why are you putting my back on the tarantula?
Know that you're awakened that way. Because normally you're awakened by angels.
Yes. Yes. Stabby little angels. Poke, poke, poke.
Hey, Troy never saw me poke you.
I don't like where this is going. Troy was an interesting enough roommate with him power dropping on me when I was. You talk about surprises. Yeah, Troy and I used to ambush each other when we were roommates. Troy dove off the top of a wall locker and body slammed me when I was least expecting it. But he waited till I looked up. So I don't know how long he was actually up there. I just remember like feeling like I was being watched. Like that little voice, like, I feel like I'm being watched. And I look up and there's Troy. And that was the last thing I saw before he like elbow tromped onto, because I was laying on my bunk. So.
Well, he can tell you how long he waited.
Yeah, that's true. It was a while, I'm sure. I know when I ambushed him, it took him forever because I was the windowsills in Germany where I swear they're really deep, like 2 feet deep. So I was able to hide in the windowsill with the curtains drawn, and we always had our curtains open. So I was waiting for him to come open the curtains so I could get him back basically, and he took forever. I was up there for like 10-15 minutes before he finally opened the curtains.
Alright, now we gotta go darker.
Well, now they're talking about stuff to dip spiders in. That's a weird turn, chat. A weird turn.
I ain't dipping no spiders. No way, Jose. No spiders.
What do you want for lunch?
We have leftover killing.
We don't have we get hamburger buns. We got bread.
Oh. We don't. We should have hot dog buns.
No, bread.
Ah!
We used the last one. It's last night.
How'd that happen?
But we have 4 hot dogs. It can work on bread.
No.
It can do. Could work.
No. Doesn't taste right. Last night tasted right.
Pete says, I hope I never get reincarnated as a spider in Beryl's house. Spend the rest of my life being dunked in stuff.
I don't want to know why he's dunking spiders. They're not donuts.
She says you would have learned to swim. The toasties.
Gotta love our toasties.
We do.
Though.
So how long are we going today?
I don't know. What time is it? I've just been working on it.
It is 1:45.
Well, I was going to talk to them about... Oops. About, the channel.
Okay.
And figuring out where this channel is going. Because it is very quickly dying. And it takes a lot to keep coming up with new stuff. So I need to know what people are willing to watch.
Well, not willing. What do you want to watch? Like, what do you want to see? Like, we're not going to be one of those channels that eats weird stuff on dares.
No.
Goes and slaps strangers and runs away or something like that.
Too old for that stuff.
But...
That, and I couldn't do that to somebody.
I know. Barb says the nose is looking really good.
There you go. It definitely is going to be darker. Right now it's just blocking in, but there's more shadow around. So...
Daryl, I'm not going to repeat that. I'm already in enough trouble.
Oh no. No. It was one thing for him to grab his arm, act like it's something, like the spider he loved was grabbing his arm, but he wouldn't do that.
I thought about doing it just now, but you have a hot tool in your hand.
You really thought of that.
I don't. Only for...
He's saying only for this long. That's this long too long.
Which is why it would not be me. It would not be me, Troy.
I think even Troy knows better. I think Troy even knows better. So, but I do need to figure out, people aren't watching the channel and maybe I'm just not doing things that are interesting. But at the same time, I can't cater to everybody.
I think you should be on camera more.
Nobody wants to see me.
That's not true. Tell her the truth, chat.
Well, hopefully, with my new medicine, that might be a little more of an option once my medicine kicks in.
I think that people would respond to seeing you.
Yeah, but that's still not enough. I need to... Why did that do that?
And us, for that matter. I mean, I feel the same way you do, but it was... I mean, we're doing this. It's more or less radio.
Yeah.
It's NPR for artists.
Woodburners?
I just have to use a softer voice. Wow, Valarie, that's a very interesting thing you're doing to the nose. We'd like to hear from our sponsor.
I can't do that. I can't do that. We don't have any sponsors.
Our sponsor, which is no one. If you like what's going on today, tune in next week.
Are we
do even more for her.
Are you going to bring up sweaty balls too?
No, although that is an awesome skit.
Okay, well, you just did it.
That's just how NPR is. If you tune into NPR, that's what's happening.
Yeah. And what I said, it was an SNL skit. Yes,
Barrow
that's
says,
right.
Yes, be on camera. Don't growl at Barrow. She's your friend. Don't growl at your friends, Valarie.
Yes, the truth would definitely set Trey free. Yes, today is August 13th. Guess what happens on August 13th?
I don't know.
The magazine
drops
hits
on the
newsstands.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, you can go to stores now and buy it.
Barrow says that my voice would put her to sleep.
Oh, he is known for that.
You know, it is if I have a superpower, that's it. My crowning achievement was in the Army. I was teaching a class, and I actually put a soldier to sleep. And she has a permanent scar on her forehead because...
Well, he didn't do the scar.
No.
Well,
not directly.
Not directly.
Because she was sitting close to the table that I was teaching from, and she fell asleep. Her eyes glazed over, and she fell asleep, pitched over, and hit her head on the table on the way down. And then, yeah. So I was known for that I could put anybody to sleep.
Yeah, he can.
All I have to do is just talk about instructions.
Maybe that's the channel you need. Maybe you need...
What, ASMR?
Yes. Because your voice, you're absolutely right. It's gotten me a couple of times. Even though I play it off like I'm like wide awake, you've gotten me.
Oh, the truth comes out. The truth comes out. Chat.
It's been a while, but yes, you've gotten me.
It's been a while.
Ted, I agree that a lot of viewers have been like you and had, a lot of things going on. But I've looked at some other channels and their stats and views are happening there. So part of it is YouTube's not sharing me. Because I'm not getting the views to get their attention. And then, even though my group is supposed to be based off of this channel, I've got a lot of people joining who just aren't interested in any of that. So, it definitely takes a lot of time. I know I need to get regular uploads up, but that takes even more time than the live. And right now I've got... You didn't give the hint.
Yeah.
So I've got so many projects that...
I'm just gonna like do hair color. That's a hint.
Whatever. You're the one who started this, so.
Okay. What do you mean I started? Oh yeah.
You're the one who offered up my art. If they could guess who it was.
That's kind of nice of you, wasn't it?
It was kind of nice of you. But I couldn't talk to you about it while you were on with Troy because I had a feeling he'd show up, and I didn't want Troy to give hints. Just to mess with me. So, are we ready for our famous hints?
So,
Burl has a list, yes.
as you know, Valerie's going to be doing a pyrography portrait of this celebrity. And I'm going to recap the previous hints. And then I'm going to give the hint for the week. And so, recapping. This is a dude. It's not a woman. Hair is an iconic part of their style. They're not dead. They're very much living. They're not a musician, but they are in entertainment on American TV. Not network TV, though, but on one of the other TV type services. And one of the free hints, a bonus hint from last week, it was not
a clown.
Not a freaking clown.
Not a freaking clown.
Okay. And then the hint I'm going to give this week is that they are dark-haired. And there's no gray in their hair, is there? I don't think.
No.
No. Dark-haired, though. Very dark-haired. So that's your hint. I realize that it's still pretty ambiguous, but we'll start zeroing in.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to have to start zeroing in.
When Valarie starts working on it, we'll get a little bit closer. So...
But I won't be able to start working on it till next month.
Well, that's good information. Beryl and Spence are saying if they Google drawing with fire, you are not the first response.
Why am I surprised?
I don't know. We'll have to look at that and see, But again, like, art's so hard anyway. And when she started this channel, like
3 years ago,
she started this channel because she was frustrated with the amount of bad information that was out there.
Still am.
And so she didn't necessarily do this, for the views, but
I'm still not doing it for the views, but it feels demoralizing when you put your heart into something and people just don't watch.
That's true. And I
why make a video if you don't expect anybody to watch it?
As artists, like, that's always a hard thing because, you put yourself out there. I know as artists, we've all probably, I know I have, I've had that frustration of, like, seeing other artists who are much younger than me. Granted, I started professionally later than many people. I had my military career and I got done with that, and now I'm an artist, But it's very frustrating to see, like, somebody who puts less time into their work, they do some twist ties and some pipe cleaners, and the art community is like, ooh, that's amazing. And you're like, damn it, what about this painting that I have here that I spent hundreds of hours on? And they're like, boo, but the twist ties, they're really integrated in an artistic fashion, And it's very frustrating to work hard and not have the recognition, I guess. So.
And I'm not trying to complain, and I appreciate every single person who takes the time.
It's okay if you complain. I mean, the Toasties here are family. Like, we're not complaining about the Toasties at all. We appreciate your support, in fact.
I'm not complaining about anybody watching.
And it's hard, though, too, because pyrography is a very specific field.
Very slow.
And, it appeals to very specific kinds of people, which I always said, like, this was always going to be a harder road,
Okay, and I thought that, too, until I saw the numbers today that I saw.
Okay. But, yeah, I know other people who are doing the same thing or, getting more interaction, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're asking this question. It's like, why? What do we need to do? What does Valarie need to do? Like, I'm hubcap. I am not the car. I'm just the thing that covers the wheel. I'm just here.
You're the pretty stuff.
Oh my God, I'm pretty.
You are.
Ooh.
You are.
but what can we do to make this more interesting? Because this is,
and there's only so much I can say about pyrography.
This is value for everybody, because of course we don't want to keep doing the same stuff over and over again either, but what would what would make people's day better? How do we enrich people's day? How do we get more interest? So on and so forth. So I have always said Valarie needs to be on camera because
they don't want to see
that's what my hero Bob did, and I feel strongly about that people connected with Bob because of his whole, of everything he was, not just his voice, but in his attitudes, but also because he had the blue shirt and the afro,
Yeah, but I'm not doing afro.
No, you're not. But you're you. And I think that people would connect with you. I think people need something more visual to connect with, That's just my opinion. And I realize that as hubcap, I would be roping myself into being on screen as well. Although I suppose I could just
do a
voiceover and just bring a hubcap in to sit next to you with like a smiley face on it. I mean, the only other thing is that we film a separate puppet show with Bernadette and a hubcap.
In a hubcap?
Yeah. And then I don't know what that show would be, honestly. It would be something different.
And see, I'm having quite a bit of artistic existential issues and thoughts. I'm trying to figure out where I want my art to go. I've done a ton of animals, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing animals.
No.
But...
Speaking of Bernadette.
But I do feel like I need to do more in a different way. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly that is. I mean, my World Pyrography Month piece is something in a completely different style with some people aren't going to like it, and I already know that.
That's fine.
But I'm totally fine with that.
I think the world needs to see you, though.
They don't want to see me.
Well, then you're just going to have to be happy with what we've got.
They don't want to see me.
I disagree.
Though hopefully with the medicine working, I won't have to wear a whole bunch of makeup. That'll be nice. But they're coming for the pyrography, not to look at me.
I know that.
Alright.
But no, they're coming for both, though. When people come to watch YouTube, I mean, yes, there are people who come for the technique, and because they're trying to learn something, and those people will generally show up and watch it maybe once or twice and be like, okay, got it, and then they're done, and then they're gonna go away. The people that have stuck with this are awesome toasties. Are here not just because of the pyrography, but they're here because they enjoy hanging out with you.
You.
Okay, but with us, okay, they enjoy making us part of their day, and that's what they've done. And they've taken the time out of their day, which we appreciate.
Oh, very much so.
To hang out with us, and so it's nice, but that's what they're here for. So I think that a lot of people, when they're looking like that, you've got Rhett and Link, that's why people tune into Rhett and Link. It's not necessarily all the crazy stuff they do. It's because that they connect with them, talking, and it's like a part of their morning routine or whatever. It's what they do, and it's seeing them, and it's almost like a reassurance, okay, that my day can begin, because I've hung out with these guys, and I think that that's the same way. I think that that's what people are looking for. I think we're missing some viewers because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody to hang out with. That's why Bob was so popular, because it was like a safe place, and where people could like be relaxed and not think about all the stuff going on in the world. They could just hang out with Bob and discover the joy of painting, and there were no accidents, and there were happy trees, and that was what they wanted. You know, it was sanctuary. And
I know.
And that's kind of what people are looking for, you know. And I think that connecting with you and seeing you on camera is a big part of that.
You can have a magazine.
That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Lana.
And that's all. And that's all the sense I have, folks. So.
And I absolutely appreciate every single one who watches. And like I said, I'm not trying to complain at all. It's just one of those things that I looked at something before the live that I shouldn't have.
Well, there's a lot of good. You really should read the comments afterwards, because there's a lot of great stuff here. So thank you very much.
I will.
Oh wow.
What?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, good.
See, I'm glad that you asked this question.
Yeah. Are they giving us suggestions that might help?
Yeah. Yeah. And things that they like and don't like.
Good. Thank you. Even if you're watching on replay, as long as it's constructive criticism, I don't mind. If you're going to be a jerk,
that's
kick rocks.
But
I was trying to find a nice way of putting that.
Projected in any of the toasties.
No,
so.
God, no. No. Anybody watching?
Because you're like a little kid, and your parents like, you know what? For everybody in this room, little kids looking around, like, if you don't like what I'm doing in this house, kick rocks. Like, Mom?
No.
You're not making cookies for me anymore. Can I sleep in the yard?
No, not at all.
No. Toasties are amazing.
Yes, they are. So, this is a magazine. If you haven't gotten to see it, this is the fall issue number 88, and it should be in stores now. In fact, I was going to go later and take a picture at the store because I'm excited. And you're looking for page 74, because that's where it be. And full.
How many pages?
5 total pages.
Can I point the thing out that they did on your shirt? Because I think it's funny.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
they have this picture, the picture that she submitted, and we're talking about seeing you on camera. And here you are. But you notice that Val's wearing a button-down shirt. Now, Val never wears a button-down shirt.
Well, I don't have that.
But she's wearing a concert shirt. And so they had to Photoshop this button-down shirt on her, and she was like, "What?"
Oh, it's funny. This is all the grayish colors all photoshopped. Because I kept looking at my photo going, it looks really weird. And when did I wear that shirt to take the photo? But I wasn't wearing it. Wait a minute, I don't own that shirt. And then it hit me that they photoshopped it.
Yeah.
So, but they did a good job with the Photoshop, I would say.
Pete says, "Oh my God, where did they get that photo of me from the cover?"
He's cute, and actually there's a lot of really good carving projects in here. There's definitely all kinds of different carving. I think the mummy's so cute. Some of these I wouldn't mind trying. So I'm really happy to be in this issue. And don't forget, if you do get it, when you get it, whether it's at the store or through shipping, over on Instagram, if you use hashtag WCI Raven, you can post this, and Wood Carving Illustrated is also following the hashtag. And if you do the Raven burning, then also use that hashtag, because I want to see everybody's work that burns along with the pattern. So, do we have anything else? The nose will still go darker, but that's where I'm going to stop for now. Let's see here. Let's back it up. So hopefully you can see the whole. There we go.
appreciate all your feedback.
Thank you, and I'll go back and read that.
It's really some good comments. So
oh, good.
Very, very much appreciated.
I can't wait to read it. And don't forget.
Don't forget what?
And don't forget. You're awesome.
I am?
You can do this.
Really?
You're a pyro artist.
I don't know about that.
Happy burning, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Hold on.